Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I decided to answer my most requested video, how to study for the LSAT. I thought I buried the LSAT a long time ago. I told myself I would never look back. But you know what? I guess I can reopen that box of gems to give you all some advice. So today's video is dedicated to my aspiring law students who want to ace the LSAT and go to the top law school of their choice. This video will answer all your questions until your heart is content, okay? I'm going to answer questions like, how long do I study for the LSAT? What resources should I use? Should I self-study? And of course, how to get a high score on the LSAT.
Girl, what you settling for? Yeah, we ballin', we settling score. You know I need that scene that down. I'm trying to win more.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you clicked on my video. If you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. I mean, come on. We're in quarantine. What else is there to do? Except study for the LSAT. Well, besides that fact, go ahead and hit that like button too, and comment below if you have any questions for me. Okay, so before I get into these tips, I'm going to share with you guys my quick LSAT story. All right, listen up. So, I went to law school at Northwestern Pritzker School of Law. Woo woo, go Wildcats! We're all in this together. What you know? Northwestern is in the top 14 law schools, top 9, just saying. My story really began my senior year of college. I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. Yeah, I said it. I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. I came out of the womb arguing, all right? And I knew that I wanted to go to law school immediately after college. I was not one of those people who could take a year off. I don't have enough willpower or strength to come back and study after I already established my career. So that was the motive that I went with. I said, I'm going to study for the LSAT in the summer and during college, and that's what I did. I took the LSAT in October for the first time. I self-studied. I thought that was the best move for me because I was pretty much a straight A student. So I was like, I've been self-studying all my life, why stop now? Pretty much. Why stop now? While I was studying for the LSAT, I also was taking my college classes. So I would wake up early in the morning, probably 6 a.m., 7 a.m., study for 2-3 hours, and then start my day. And while I was studying and taking college classes, I was simultaneously filling out applications, at least early applications for law school. I took the test in October. I did not like my score at all. I took the test the second time. I used Kaplan instead because I was like, obviously I'm not doing something right. And then I applied to law school with the new score I got. And obviously that score is what got me into Northwestern. And now I'm here giving advice to you. So use it because clearly it worked. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get into these tips. However, I do want to acknowledge that it has been a while since I took the LSAT. I took my first test in 2015 and I took my second test in 2016. It is now 2020 and we're in a pandemic. So there's a big difference here. But I did do additional research to make sure that I give you the best tips to benefit you while you study for the LSAT. Tips that will help you maximize your score. And I think coupled with my experience, you'll be well on your way to ace the LSAT. All right, so let's get into this. Tip number 1, hun. The first thing you need to do is take a diagnostic test. Basically what this is a LSAT test that you go in taking cold, meaning you're not gonna prep for it. You're going to have real-time constraints and you're gonna take the test just to gauge your score. It's gonna show you what you're good at, what your strengths and weaknesses are before you even start prepping for the test. That way you can allocate certain time to certain areas more than others, which leads me to my second tip. Know yourself and create a study plan. It's very important to be true to yourself when you're taking this exam. Everyone learns differently. Certain people have certain learning styles. Some people are visual learners, others are auditory learners. Others, they learn from YouTube videos, like the one you're watching now. Or others need to listen to podcasts. You really need to be true to who you are so you know what works best for you while you're studying. So here's some questions to ask to yourself. Self, huh? How do you study? When are you the most productive during the day? Is it in the mornings or is it in the evenings? Are you working a full-time job or a part-time job? Do you have to study and work? Can you self-study or do you need a tutor? Do you need to take a class? Once you answer these questions, I promise you will be able to study more effectively, and obviously more effective studying means you will maximize your score on the LSAT. The next tip is you need to create a goal score. The best way to create a goal score is to focus on the schools that you want to attend. If you want to go into a T14 law school, you know that they are looking for LSAT scores out of this world in the 90th percentile, 85 percentile. If you just want to go to another law school outside of the T14, figure out what their median LSAT score is. Personally, I recommend that you apply to law schools in different tiers. Don't apply to all the top 14 law schools. Apply to law schools in tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3. If your LSAT score did not turn out what you want, then you know that, okay, I may not be able to get into the top 14 law school, but guess what? My score can get into these schools in the second tier. After you figure out what your diagnostic score is and, you're true to yourself on how you should study and you have a goal set, then you need to figure out, do you self-study or should you use a class or a tutor? I was pretty confident in myself and my abilities. Like I said, I had a high GPA. I felt like nobody could tell me anything. So I was like, I've been doing it on my own for so long. I'm going to continue to do it on my own. I'm going to self-study, and self-studying would have me save my coins because, I don't like to spend money that I don't have to spend. I took the LSAT for the first time and I was like, this isn't the score I want. I took the LSAT early, so I had enough time to take it again to improve my score for my application. So then my whole motive changed. Your girl went from, hey, I'm gonna save my coins, to LSAT is an investment. Like, I really thought about it. I was like, in the long run, yes, I am spending money now for this class, but let's think about it. Like, if my score is significantly high, that means the law school I'm going to apply to is going to give me scholarship money. And we all know that law school is extremely expensive. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, we're really about to be in debt for the rest of our lives. So the next tip I have for you is that you really need to carve out study time. Like, really know your schedule. I said this earlier. If you're working full time, then you know what? You're going to have to spread out your LSAT studying for a longer increment of time. So you might need 6 to 9 months. Or if you just have all this free time, you won't need so much time because you literally have nothing else to do but study. Make sure when you carve out that time, you are retaining information. As in, you might be studying for 3 hours, but you might need to take a 1-hour break in between each hour. Like, make sure you're retaining the information or you're not studying effectively. All right, this is an important tip. Take practice tests. Very important. Like, practice tests show you what you are doing wrong, where you are falling short. Like, is timing your weakness, or is it logic games that is your weakness, or is it reading comprehension? Practice tests also helps you see the patterns of questions. Like, that these type of logic game questions seem to come up a little more frequently than the others. It also helps you to figure out, like, what are your strengths and weaknesses. What type of questions do you constantly get wrong? I recommend that you take a practice test every 2 to 3 weeks. Take that practice test in real life conditions, as in, you better purchase that analog watch because good and well you can't take a digital watch into the test. You better have the real-time constraints. Don't be cheating and adding time to your practice test. Do not have the answer booklet right beside you peeking, talking about, maybe I'll just look. Like, no, we're not doing that. I mean, like, if you really need to, you can dress up, do the whole 9. I recommend that you don't take it in quiet places because let's be real. When you're taking a test in a room with other people, it's never completely quiet. You have people on the side, have people tapping their pen. So you know what? Go to YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's on there. Find a YouTube video talking about background noise during tests. Play that while you're taking your prep test. Also, please do not focus all your time on your strengths. Let's say if you're good at logic games, like, do not spend hours and hours on logic games because you feel good, you're confident, you're like, oh wow, this is the one thing that I'm getting right. Like, you're wasting hours. You need to focus on your weakness. You need to figure out how to bring your weakness to become your strength. So my next tip is for my students who are still in college. If you can, take logic courses at your university. At my alma mater, they literally had a pre-law program, and some of the courses that you could take was logic courses. They had Logic 1 and they had Logic 2. And that was just very beneficial because I was familiarized with the logic game process. I had never seen a logic game before. I was really blown away because I couldn't believe that these type of problems existed. But, you know, I think it just really prepares you early for what you're going to expect on the LSAT test. Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of the video, and I still have a ton to say. So I'm going to do something a little different. You know, on Family Feud, when they have that fast lightning speed round and the contestants are literally just blurbing out ideas that come out of their head for 1 minute, I'm going to do that. Let's see if I can give you the last tips I have in 1 minute. They obviously won't be as detailed as the tips I gave you before, but it's just things I think you should know. All right, let's do this. Take the test with enough time to take it again. Change your resources if they don't work. You can use Khan Academy, which is a free resource online. You can use Kaplan, you can use PowerScore, you can get a tutor. Take breaks frequently. Like, your brain is only productive for so long. Make sure you get adequate amount of rest. Did you know that your brain is still studying while it's sleeping? It's literally retaining all the information that you learned from the day, and it's getting stuck into the psyche. Eat healthy. You need brain food. Do not be snacking on hot Cheetos. Do not be just eating Reese's Pieces all day. Actually eat some celery. Eat some carrots. Eat some salmon. Don't rely on me as the only resource for your LSAT help. Relax, chill, don't freak out so much. Make sure that your mental health is in check. When you are practicing, avoid looking at the answer sheet. Lastly, if you can't raise your score, focus on other areas that you can raise. Woo! Did I do it? Did I make the time? Woo! That's a new record! Okay. First record. This video was quite lengthy, and I totally apologize, but I just had so much to say because the LSAT is just so important when you're applying to law school. On a closing note, I want you all to know that your LSAT score is not everything. I've said that in my last YouTube video that I just recently put out. Like, you can still get into a top 14 law school with a median to low LSAT score. It is possible. I know many students who had low scores that entered top 14 law schools across our nation. I wish you all the best of luck, and I know it's hard because we're in quarantine and there's so many distractions. Our nation is really experiencing 2 pandemics. We have COVID, and we have, you know, police brutality and racial injustices for the Black community. You know, if you do this, it just shows you how resilient you are and how strong you are and how you can persevere and accomplish anything. So I wish you all the best of luck. And if you want more tips, check out my law playlist. It's called Cave on Law. You know, I have so much more law tips to give to you guys, especially in quarantine when I can't travel or eat. So I'm really just stuck giving you law tips all day. So please take them.